If you are watching this channel for the first time, please we advise you click on the share button, click on the red subscribe button, and on the notification button, so that when we have a new episode coming out, directly it will be shared to you. You will have the link and be notified of this edition because they keep on coming and it will interest you, it will move you to another level.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another interesting episode or session on the Daily Positive Living Principle channel with Dr. Daniel Otto. We are going on a journey, so hook onto this channel closely and you will not regret being on this channel. We started a discussion on the strategies to implement our love languages. We have discussed 3 in the previous episode, and we were on the 3rd strategy, which we are dealing with negative complexes that could disrupt our love languages, and we need to deal with them in total. In our previous episode, we talked about 4 of those complexes. We defined complexes are core patterns of ideas, core patterns of desires, core patterns of emotions, core patterns of memories and perceptions or experiences that could have an emotional tone but have a strong influence on the way we behave, on the way we think, and which will negatively affect us. We talked about 4 of those complexes in our previous edition, and I'd like you to go through it so that you can follow up on these episodes. We talked about those previous ones as Oedipus complex, persecution complex, inferior and superior complex. That was what we talked about in the previous episode. And in this episode, we are also going to consider another 4 complexes, altogether 8 complexes that are negative, and they could influence our love languages, they can influence our marriage relationship, and even our relationship with others in the society. This thing is not even only to marriages, it can also be related to our relationship with others in the society. What are these complexes? Number 5, which is going to be number 1 in this episode, is the Madonna War complex. Or did I say Madonna War complex? War, the spelling is W-H-O-R-E. War in form of sexual promiscuity is an act of prostitution. Madonna War especially it happens or takes place in a man who does not believe in a stable sexual relationship with women. These are people who feels insecure. They feel that everyone is promiscuous. They feel that their partner is highly promiscuous. They don't think that anybody can be innocent when it comes to relationship. When it comes to man and woman, they feel that everyone has a promiscuous attitude, which is very negative. In fact, even in our societies, those people with Madonna War complex don't believe that two people, a man and a woman, can stay under 5 minutes or 10 minutes without committing or sleeping with each other. So if they see a man, they see a woman moving together, they've already concluded. They make a judgment. These people must have slept together. They feel they are insecure. They cannot resist women. They also feel that others also have the same kind of attitude. So they consider everybody the way they themselves are. So they think of everybody as being promiscuous. In a marriage, if that is done, the husband will always be suspecting the wife, and the wife will also be suspecting the husband. So it will be vice versa. So the relationship will end up in lack of total distrust. In fact, in a home, if that is established, the husband will be monitoring the wife every now and then. If the wife goes to the market or goes for a meeting or goes to work or goes for any occasion at all, the impression with the husband will be that the wife must have slept with somebody, and so the husband will turn himself into a monitoring spirit, or the wife, or vice versa. The wife will turn herself into a monitoring spirit, trying to monitor the husband and all that, all the while. The marriage relationship cannot survive in that way. Once there is lack of distrust through these complexes, that marriage will be fragmented. There's no joy and trust in that relationship. And this is what we need to deal with. In fact, this is the reason, Madonna War Complex is the reason why husband sleeps with house helps. Thoughtlessness, there is no conscience at all. They sleep with housewife up to the point that even house helps can even take up the wife of the house. They will push the madam away and now become the wife of the house because of Madonna War Complex. In fact, it will even make wives to sleep with houseboys. It will make women and housewives to sleep with drivers. That is how dangerous this thing is. So everybody that in that complex, they are promiscuous and they feel everybody is like that. In fact, there was one example which I saw. This man married a beautiful girl, a very rich man, and he gave the wife liberty to handle his things. But not knowing that the wife was now going out and sleeping with the driver. The woman and the driver are always together. So one day, this man had a very big farm and they were on their way to the farm, the driver and the woman. This feeling got so much to them that they could not hold themselves. So they had to park on the road to do the real act. The driver and the woman on the road parked and they started sleeping with each other on the road doing the real act. So people came and, as God will have it, they were caught red-handed. In fact, when it got to the man, that was the end of the marriage relationship. What are we talking about? Madonna War Complex. If it's introduced in the home, it will disrupt a whole lot of relationships, and marriages cannot survive that way. Marriages will be fragmented if that is established in the home, and we need to deal with that complex very, very seriously if our marriages and relationships, even in the world, in society, will survive. We need to change that complex. What other complex are we talking about? The God complex. This God complex is actually a senior brother of the superiority complex, which we have already discussed in our last episode. This complex is established in such a way that this person involved feels that he has a godly ideas, has a divine ideas that are godly. So he has a supernatural power that is above every mankind. So he thinks he places himself on the status of God. So he thinks everything he does is right because of these divine ideas. So he looks down on everybody. He tries to even shun the rules and the laws of the society. And he considers himself above every rule, above every law. And he will go into an extent of committing glaring offenses because he thinks it's divine. If that is brought into the family, this person cannot sit down to discuss with the wife because he thinks his ideas are godly. So he will be domineering and pushing ideas on top of the wife, and marriages cannot survive that way. A man and a woman are supposed to come together to plan and discuss together. But if this is done, it will disrupt that relationship. The wife will just be there as a figurehead of fulfilling all righteousness in the house. But the man feels everything he does is godical. And so he goes ahead to establish everything without giving consideration to anybody. He doesn't consult anybody. He does what he likes and anything goes. So that thing should be dealt with if our marriages survive well. What other complexes are we talking about? The guilt complex. This is a complex where the person blames himself for everything that happens. He feels that guilt that is responsible for whatsoever happens in the home. So it will get to a point that he wants to cover up for the things that are going wrong. So he blames himself. He becomes very critical to people's opinion. So he's sensitive to what people are saying. And in that kind of complex, you cannot do things well. As he wants to do anything, he feels insecure, he feels guilt, and so he will not do things with a free mind. It will go to a point that he wants to cover up for the guilt. Remember, even in the Bible, when Adam now ate the forbidden fruit, Before God will even come down, Adam has started running. He was hiding himself among the trees. Instead of going to God, he was hiding himself, and he now thought that they were naked. These are guilty complexes that were in operation. He wants to cover up. Some people in the process of even covering up can go ahead to commit more offenses or even tell lies in the process. That is what guilt complex can do. These complexes make somebody not to behave normal. These things must be dealt with. What is the last complex we are talking about here is the martyr complex. Martyr complex. This complex is a complex where the person feel pity. He wants people to sympathize with him or her. He does this in form of, he enters into a state of suffering. He wants to suffer so that people can pity him or her. He wants to be sympathized with. He wants to be pitied. So he can go to any length. He makes himself on a low self-esteem. He can go to any length or even harming himself or herself so that he can receive attention. He wants to receive attention and sympathy just because of suffering. He wants to suffer. He wants to feel that he's suffering so that people can now give him attention. If that happens in the house, the wife will be looking for attention. He will can even go to the point of injuring herself so that the husband can attend to her, and it can happen vice versa. So in a relationship where there is no attention and all that, the wife wants to command attention by harming herself or doing all manner of things so that he can receive attention. These are complexes that must be dealt with, and if that is not done, that marriage can be fragmented. It is very, very key. As I begin to round up on this session, let me tell us a story of how Madonna war complex can also affect our relationship. A woman was going to a hospital for her follow-up and just to see a doctor. And he decided to tell the husband to accompany her for the follow-up check. So when they went to the hospital, and when it was the turn of the wife to see the doctor, the woman was called in. And while the woman was with the doctor, seeing the doctor, the woman now decided to ask the doctor, please, can you send for my husband to come in? Okay, the doctor was thinking that maybe the woman feel insecure or think that he was going to do something with the woman and wanted the husband's presence in the house. So the doctor now had told the woman, he said, I'm a gentleman, that the husband doesn't need to come. He said, no, doctor, that is not what I'm saying. Remember, my husband, I left my husband with one beautiful nurse outside. I don't want to hear any story. Before I leave there for outside, something would have happened. Please, Oga doctor, please call my husband inside so I can be in a safe hand. I want to be sure that when we are going from here, that nothing deadly would have happened. He would have not have committed any war here. I'm telling you, that was when the doctor knew what the woman was saying, that already the husband has a Madonna war complex, that he feels that if he stays around, anything can happen. If he sees anybody in skirt, so the woman already does not trust the husband. That is the effect of these complexes. The husband, if we allow these complexes to survive, the husband will not trust the wife will not also trust the husband, and the love languages cannot be implemented. So we need to deal with these complexes one by one. 8 complexes that we need to deal with. And as you follow me on this channel, you will get to know that you have nothing to lose. And I'm telling you, your life will not remain the same. Follow me closely. Please subscribe to this channel. Share with some people. I would like to have your comments as we go along on this channel. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for listening to me and your attention, and God bless you.